Pain. It comes in many forms: physical, mental, emotional, you name it. But mine, I have a crippling addiction to not planning properly, not doing the research, and diving straight into the deep end, and end up wondering why it doesn't actually work.
I may or may not have permanently silenced my Switch, which was in perfect working order fine beforehand, and I may have also bought a new one to replace it.
Welcome of what not to do during a Noctuca fan install. Noctuca fans known for one thing: spinning really freaking fast. If your gaming laptop currently sounds like it's trying to essentially outpace the SpaceX rocket on launch day, I feel you'd benefit from this. They essentially use a specialized material, a specialized polymer, to reduce these vibrations of the blades, using thicker anti-vibration pads to further reduce the noise. For my use case, this would be for my Arista Switch. As you can hear, it's more annoying than a plain tank on Overwatch right now. Keep in mind, I was somehow sleeping next to this while the shit was on. Not the proudest nut. Context: I have had a Arista 7010T. It's been an enterprise switch, which obviously the word enterprise means it's not designed for this use case, i.e. some dumbass using it within his own environment, let alone running it in their room. So I may or may not have permanently made this switch silent. So in today's lesson, this is essentially of what not to do. So let's get into it and how I upgraded and broke my switch. Now we can get onto the not doing. First, I require Noctuca fans. Well, that was easy. Only cost me half the cost of GTA 6. Now, let's get into the actual upgrade. We start by removing the old fans from their casings. This was not too difficult as I'd done this previously. Once the stock fans were removed, it only goes downhill from here. Before we can actually continue though, we require fan spacers, as the Noctuca fans are only 20mm thick, while these stock ones were 40mm. This was easy as I just nicked someone else's files. I'm a little cockroach, I know. After that, I went on to identify the pin layout.
Oh well, you should have done this beforehand because hypothetically.
Shut up, chud. Daddy is speaking. The pin layout, you can call them that, from the stock fans, less than satisfactory. On the other hand, the chads over at Noctuca were actually able to construct a proper pin layout for chuds myself to understand. So after cross-referencing the pin layout, I had the locations for where it's older, the connections to. Have you ever spent hours doing something for it to come to naught? Me neither. So leading on to my third obstacle, I essentially really never soldered anything since 1883. My first soldering attempt comprised of me struggling to move old solder, burning myself a lot and swearing. I shall breeze over this as I don't want any masochist finishing off too quickly and that interesting to watch if I'm frank with you. It worked for a matter of 2 seconds. Pushed the PSU into its original socket and the switch booted quietly. I took the fans out to ensure that my wiring was correct. It was, and I was like, fuck yeah, I did a thing. Then I reinserted the PSU into the switch and it did not boot at all. However, the fans were still spinning. At this rate, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I'm panicking, like it just works. So I double checked my wiring diagram again and they were getting power. My wiring was fine, the fans were still spinning. Long story short, so research into it, I found there is a tact signal. This is required for basically switches to basically send out a pulse and say this is the speed RPM we want you to go. Look at my switch's data sheet, there's nothing regarding tact signaling, so I was stumped. So any man in this situation did the one and only thing, and that was to ask Reddit. Not my proudest moment. I had the response, a guy saying basically it just didn't work, and another guy saying this is Reddit, not Google. Like, geez mate, like you're not my first fucking one, are you? So I called it a day.
Let me be my me, let me be my me. You should have done this. You should have done what we did beforehand. It doesn't work, damn it.
So I wake up and I realise essentially I made another mistake by leaving the PSU plugged in within the swap fan. This is fucked, I'm fucked. So I scrapped the mods as a whole and removed the Noctuca fans for the stock ones. I was like, at this rate, I just want it working. During this process of desoldering, I damaged the ribbon cable enough and flexing it that much that the solder from the factory broke. I'm not that good at soldering. I cannot repair that. I was not a happy bunny, but I'm used to this feeling of dread. Pain is the name of the game. So I started frantically looking for a new PDU, that model, everything, and those were pretty much the same price as the Switch and even a bit more, and I prayed and prayed and prayed and it got me nowhere. I'm an atheist, by the way. yeah, it didn't get me anywhere. And essentially it was £150 for the PSU, and it was not worth the time nor the money. But I learned a new skill, lost myself 150 quid in the process, but I got a new Switch. Fuck my chud life. But yeah, to make myself feel better, anyone in the comments tell me something that they've broken while learning new shit, essentially. I would like to hear about it for me to read while I eat my morning grub. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and it wasn't too brain-void.